for change has become evident, especially in education. Now the technology has emerged as a major lifesaver for us, moving our education to the next level of online teaching. Let's start our today's session on Zoom, the most popular tool for online teaching and video conferencing. I'm going to show you how to use Zoom and its special attributes. Zoom offers most of the features which we have in our face-to-face classroom. Let's start our session on Zoom. I'm sharing my screen now. Ma'am, are you able to view my screen? Okay, let's start our session on Zoom. So open your browser, type zoom.us. This is the website of Zoom which you are viewing now. So now we are going to go for the plans and pricing. We are going to see what are the Zoom business plan available. So here you can see the first one is the basic or the free version of Zoom. So the features of free version of Zoom is that you can host a meeting to a maximum of 100 participants and the time limit for the meeting is 40 minutes. You can have an unlimited number of meetings. And as a teacher, if you want to give a counseling to a student or you want to have a mentor-mentee meeting, it is unlimited to one-to-one meetings. So these are the features. We have it in the free version. And next you can see it is a Zoom Pro, Business and Enterprise. These are the paid versions and these features are listed below. Today we are going to see the Zoom free version. So here I'm going to sign up. It's a free version. So now you have to sign in with your mail ID. I'm just signing in here with my mail ID. For this, you need to download the app for Zoom. Since already I have downloaded, I'll be directed to my Zoom account page. So now I'll be directed to my Zoom account page. So here you can see profile, meetings, webinars, recordings, and settings. So these are the tabs. First, we are going to discuss now before starting a Zoom meeting. So first, we are going to go to the profile page. So here you can see mine and Zoom. You can have your college name and the college. We can also change our pictures. Yes. Okay, okay ma'am. Okay. So here, ma'am, is it audible now? Hello? Okay. Okay, ma'am. So here you can see the personal meeting ID. Once you create a Zoom account, you will be assigned a meeting ID. It is a 9 to 11 digit meeting ID, which will be assigned uniquely to every Zoom account holder. And here you can have the password. So you can use this meeting ID and password whenever you schedule for a new meeting, or every time when you schedule a new meeting ID and a password will be generated. To have more secure meetings, we can use the meeting ID and password which is generated automatically. And here you sign in into my Zoom account. Type is basic, free version. If you want to upgrade to the paid version, you can click here. And next, you can see the capacity. Since it is a free version, here the capacity is 100 participants and the language and the date and the time. So this is about the profile page. Whatever changes you want, we can edit the changes. And next, I'm going to the meetings page. So it is a very important meetings and we can look for the previous meetings. So here you can see the upcoming meetings. If you're going to click upcoming meetings, any meetings which you have scheduled any meeting, so there is no list here. So here you can see the tab schedule a new meeting. So now I'm going to take in Zoom. So you have to click here, schedule a new meeting. So here you can see the topic. So you have to type the topic of your meeting. For example, I'm typing webinar on Zoom. Next, a description. It is optional. If you want, you can give a description for your meeting. I'm going to give it as a Zoom training session. And next, you can see the date. So you select the date when you want to schedule your meeting. I'm selecting tomorrow as a date, and then you have to select the time duration when you are going to conduct the meeting. I've selected 4 p.m. and next you have to select the duration. Here you can Zoom, you can see a message here that it says that we have only 40 minutes time limit. Even though if you select the duration as 1 hour, automatically after 40 minutes, the Zoom meeting will be ended since we are using the free version. And then here you can see the time zone. I've selected the time zone India. And here you can see the option called recurring meeting. It is a very important feature. If your meeting which you have scheduled is going to happen again and again, you can select the recurring meeting. Schedule it repeatedly. So here you can select the recurrence. Either you're going to schedule the meeting daily, or next week you're going to have a meeting, or weekly you are going to have a meeting, or it is on a monthly basis. Based on that, you can select. To repeat every. If your meeting is going to be conducted daily, or it is going to be a 2 days once, 3 days once, based on that you can select. And here you can see the message after occurrences. So how many times you're going to conduct the meeting? For example, 5 times you'll have to conduct the meeting means then you have to select 5. Automatically the change. So now I'm not going to select the recurring meeting now. And next you can see the option here, meeting ID. As I have told you, you can use 2 meeting IDs. Either you can go for your personal meeting ID, which is the Zoom account has assigned to you. It is going to be a permanent ID, or you can use an generate automatically ID. So for every meeting, a separate ID will be assigned. For secure purpose, we can use this. And then we have the meeting password. The ID participants in order to join the meeting. And next we have the video. If you want to turn video of the host or turn on or off the video of the participant, you can select the option here. And next the 4 options, meeting options. The you can see is enable join before host. So if you want your participants to join the meeting before you join, you can this option. For example, what we do in our classes, students will be waiting the classes and then the staff will go and join the class. And that way you can do. Or if you are having a meeting, or if you are conducting a webinar, you want to join the meeting room and then you want to admit the participants to join, you can select this option, or you can disable the option based on your preference. If you're going to select it, the participants will automatically join the meeting room before you join. It is better to disable this option. And next we have mute participants upon entry. It is a very important attribute of Zoom. If you're going to select it, automatically the participants, once they join the meeting room, they'll be muted so that it will not create any disturbance in the meeting. And next we have a waiting room. So what is this waiting room? So Zoom offers 2 virtual rooms. So one is a meeting room where meeting is conducted, and next one is a waiting room. Waiting room is where the participants will be put up there, and once the host enters the meeting room, the host will admit the participants to the meeting room. And next you can see the option here, record the meeting automatically on the local computer. You can select the option here, or once you start the meeting, there will be a record option. You can also click on record here. And then you have to save the option. Now I have scheduled a meeting. So this is a procedure to schedule a meeting. So next I'm going to the meetings to see my meeting has been scheduled. So now if you click on the upcoming meetings, you can see here. I have scheduled a meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m. The topic is webinar on Zoom. And here is my meeting ID. And the next tab is the previous meeting. So what is previous meetings? It will show the history of meetings which has been already conducted by you. So that is the previous meetings. And next we have the personal meeting room. So what is a personal meeting room? Meeting rooms or cabins in our colleges. Similar way, we have a virtual meeting room here. So here we have the name, and every time you schedule your meetings, we can sync to any of these calendars here. We can directly schedule the meetings from the calendars. And here you can see the meeting ID and the password. Here we have the invite link. We can copy the invite link and send the invite link to the participants. And next we have the meeting templates. What are the templates? So once you schedule a meeting, you can save the meeting as a template so that you can use it for the future reference. So now I'm going to show you how I can use this meeting scheduled as a template. So you have to click on upcoming meetings and then you have to click on the meeting details. So here I'll you can see the option start this meeting. If you want to start this meeting instantly, you can start the meeting. And next you can see the option edit. If you want to make any changes to the link, if you want to change time or you want to change the meeting options, you can do this here by clicking on this edit option. And next you can see save as a meeting template. If I click here, this meeting schedule will be saved as a template so that I can use it for the future reference. Here the option delete this meeting. If you are not able to conduct the meeting due to some circumstances, you can meeting. So this is how we can schedule the meeting. So this is about the meeting page. We have seen schedule a new meeting, what is previous meetings, a meeting room and a meeting template. So before starting the meeting, I just want to tell you many other attributes of Zoom. And next we have the webinar. Ma'am, tell me. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. The next we have the webinar. So here, which is given by the Zoom, that Zoom is able to conduct online events with 100 video participants. And next, we have the audio is not clear, ma'am. Yes. Before going to the recordings, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh. Okay, ma'am. So webinar, here you can see the Zoom offers webinars to conduct large online events, sharing 100 video participants. You can have 100 video participants and 10,000 attendees. So this is for the paid versions of Zoom. And next we have the recordings page. So recordings, already I've told you, you can record the Zoom meetings. So recordings can be done in two ways. Here we can have a local recordings. So local recordings is available for the free version of Zoom. And next we have the cloud recordings. So it is available for the paid version. If you are a paid version of Zoom, you can do the cloud recordings. Local recordings is available for the free version. It will be recorded in your local computer. And next we have the settings page. So here I'm going to tell you many features of Zoom. Some features will be locked for the free version. Now, the first one is a waiting room. So already I've told you what is waiting room. The participants will be placed in a waiting room, and once the host joins the meeting room, they'll be allowed to enter into the meeting room. So now I have selected to enable the waiting room. If I'm going to disable it, you can see a pop-up message. Your settings has been updated. So I'm going to enable it again. And next you can see embed password. So this is a link which if you send to a participant without asking the password, automatically they will be entering into the meeting because the password is encrypted in the link. And next you can see here only authenticated users. If you're going to enable it, if you want your meeting to be more secured, only the authenticated users can join the meeting. And next we have here schedule meeting, the host video. If you want to start the meeting by turning on your video, you can enable it. If you want your participants video to be turned on or off, here you can select it. And next we have the audio type. So it is, you have to enable the computer audio to join the Zoom meeting. Here you have the option join before host. So already I've told you when scheduling a meeting, If you want your participants to join before you join the meeting, you can enable it. And here we have the personal meeting ID. And next we have an important feature called mute participant upon entry. So this is an important attribute of Zoom. If you are going to select it, once the participants enter the meeting room, they'll be automatically muted. And next we have here the chat. If you want the participants to chat in the meeting, you can enable it. And here you can see the option called as private chat. It is also an important feature. If you are taking an online classes on Zoom, you can disable this private chat so that you can avoid the students to having a one-to-one chatting to the other participant. And next we have the auto saving chats. You can save all the chat messages. And next we have sound notification. If you want to play a sound or a music for everyone when they join the meeting or only for the host and co-host, you can select it. And next we have the file transfer. The Zoom offers a very important feature. In the chat window, you can transfer any files from your drive or from the cloud or from your local computer. And next here you have the feedback to Zoom. Once, if you're going to enable it, after your Zoom meeting, a survey form will be sent to the participants. They'll be submitting it. If they have any queries on the Zoom meeting or if they have faced any issues, they can respond with it. And next we have the option called as screen sharing. If you want the participants or the host to share their screen, you have to enable it. And here you can see the option who can share. Either you want only the host to share the screen or you want the participants. For example, if you're conducting any seminar, so if you want your participants to present their screen, you can select the participants and then you have to click on the save option. Or only if you are going to present, it is better to have only host only. And next we have the option here, annotation. Annotation is just viewing the content, whatever is written on screens by the host. In Zoom, we have a whiteboard option. How we have it in our offline classes, here we have an option called as whiteboard. So whenever the host is able to share anything on the whiteboard, it will be viewed by the participants. And next we have a non-verbal feedback. The participants in a meeting can provide a non-verbal feedback. It is a very important attribute of Zoom. It is only available in Zoom. To save time, or instead of asking the students to unmute them and talk them, to save the time, you can use this non-verbal feedback. I'll show you once we start the Zoom meeting. There will be options like yes, no, raise hand, thumbs up and thumbs down. In that way, they can communicate with the teachers. And next one, we have allow remote participants to rejoin. If any participants are being removed from the meeting, if you enable this, then they'll be able to rejoin the meeting. And next we have here, allow participants to rename themselves. So you can enable it if the participants, they want to change their name, rename themselves. And here we can hide participant profile picture. If you want to hide the participant's profile picture, you can enable it. And next we have here breakout room. It is a very important attribute of Zoom. So what is breakout rooms? So how we do in our offline classes, once if you give a group activity to the students, you'll be dividing the students into groups and each of them will be assigned some task. Once they complete it, you'll be calling back to them. So in the similar way, you can create a breakout rooms. You can create as many number of rooms you want. You can assign the students in the breakout room and once their activity is over, you can call them to the meeting room. I'll show you how to do this once we start the Zoom meeting. And then next, we have the virtual background, important attribute of Zoom. So you can customize your background to keep your environment private from others in a meeting. So you can have the virtual background here. And next, you can see the email notification. The notification will be sent to the participants, and also if the participants are in the waiting room, notification will go to the host that participants have joined the meeting, and if a meeting is cancelled, the participants will be notified. So that is the email notification. So these are the features. So whatever features you want, you have to enable this option. Once you enable it, it will be updated in your Zoom account. So now I'm going to show you how to start a meeting. For that, I'm going to the meetings page. So here is a meeting which we have scheduled. So before that, I'm going to show you how a Zoom app is going to look like, because this content I'm delivering you on the web page of my Zoom account. So this is a Zoom application, because for Zoom meetings to be conducted, you need to download the Zoom app. So this is the Zoom application window. Here you can see the tab new meeting. If you want to start an instant meeting, you can click here. And next one, join. If any meeting has been scheduled, you can click here. You have to enter the ID and the password if you want to join the meeting. And next we have here scheduled. How we have done there, here we have the option called as scheduled. Here you can schedule your new meeting. The same options will be here. And next we have the share screen. Either you want to share the screen or you want your participants to share the screen. And next you can see the option here, change background image. If you want to change, you can change it. And here you can see the settings option. It is a general, and next we have a video settings, audio, and then share screens, chat. Here you have the virtual background. If you want to change your virtual background, you can do here the recordings. If you want to view the recordings of your Zoom meetings, you can click here, your profile picture, the statistics. So what is the space which has been occupied by Zoom in your local computer? So all these settings will be available here. So this is a Zoom application window. So now we are going to start with the Zoom meeting. So before starting, I'll just tell you how you can invite the participants. So just click here on the meeting details. Now I'm going to join this meeting through my mobile so that I can show you what are the options we can avail to the participants. So here I'm going to copy this invite. You can see here the invitation is copied. You have to copy the meeting invitation. And then you have to send the invite to the participants through your mail. So I'm going to send this invite to my another mail ID so that I'll be sharing, joining as a participant from my mobile. So here I'm sending the invite. So now we'll start the meeting. So you have to click on the option start here. You can see the option here, start this meeting. You have to click here. The meeting will be started. So here you can see a message, wants to open this application. Since already I have the Zoom app, I'm able to open it. Click on open Zoom meetings. So the Zoom meeting window is getting ready. So here you have to click join with computer audio. If you have an external speaker, you have to connect to it. And here you can see this is a Zoom meeting page. So here you can see the option mute. If you want to mute yourselves or unmute, you have to click here. And next you have the option here, start video. If you want to turn on your video or turn off your video, you have to click here. And next we have here security. So here you can see a message. So one person has entered the waiting room for this meeting. So I have joined this meeting from my mobile to show you the option. For that, you have to click on the participants. So if you click the participants, here you can see I'm the host here. This is the meeting room, and here you can see a person waiting. One person is waiting. So this is the waiting room. So as a host, you have to click this option admit. If you click this option admit, the participant will be able to join the meeting room. So here you have join audio, share screen, which I'm going to tell you now. And here you have invite others. Once you start the meeting also, you can click on this option, invite others. So here you can select copy invite link, and then you can mail to the participants once the meeting is started also. Next, we are going to discuss the basic features of Zoom meeting here. So first we have the lock meeting. So what is lock meeting? So how we do in our classes, regular classes, in the offline classes, once we start the class, we allow the students for certain time. After that time, we don't allow the students to enter our class. Similar way, we can lock the meeting. Lock the meeting means that once you do it, no participants can join the meeting. So I'm clicking here. You can see a pop-up message. You have locked the meeting. No one else can join. The next option is that enable waiting room. So here you can see a tick mark behind the option. It means that I have enabled this, enable waiting room. So waiting room is enabled here. You would have seen it. One participant was waiting and then I admitted. And next we have the option allow participant to share screen. If you want your participant to share screen, if you want your students to present something, so on that case you can select it, or else you can disable it. As a host only you are going to share the screen. And next we have a chat. If you want to allow the participants to chat, you can select this option. And next we have a rename themselves. If you want your participants to rename themselves, you can select this option. And next we have unmute themselves. If you're going to select this option, even though you have muted all, the participant can unmute themselves. So it is better not to select this option so that the participants will not be able to unmute themselves until you give them access. And here you can see remove participant. If you find while taking your online classes, if any of a student misbehave, or if any difficulty in that, you can remove the participant. If any issue you face with the participant, you can remove the participant. And here you can see the report. If you want to report any security basis, you can click here. And as a yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Audible, ma'am. Shall I continue? Okay, ma'am. Okay. So here, manage participants. You can see how many participants. We can view the number of participants in the meeting. Here you can see there are 2 participants in the meeting. And next, as a participant, I have joined. Here you can see the option more. If you're going to click on it, you can see the list of menus which is there. Ask to start the video. If you want any of your participant to start the video, you can click this. Or if you want to make the participant as a host, you have to select it and rename or put any of the participant in the waiting room, or remove the participant, or report on any issues. These are the options you can have only the host, but in a paid version we have the option of co-host. We can have one host and many co-hosts in the paid versions of Zoom. And next we are going to discuss the chat window. So here you can see there are 3 dots here. So here you can see the participant can chat with the 3 options. Either no one, you can disable the chat window when you're taking classes in Zoom, or to the host only. If you want the participant to chat only with you. So when you're taking classes in Zoom, any doubts asked by the students, it will be viewed only by you so that you can answer their queries at the end of the session. And next one, we have everyone publicly. If you want the participants to chat with everyone, you can select it. And next, you can see an option here, file. This is a very important feature of Zoom. As I already told you in the settings, you can share any file in the chat window. Either the files can be shared from the cloud or drive or from your local computer. Now I'm going to show you, I'm going to share a file from my local computer. So just I'm sharing a file. Here you can see a file has been shared. So once your session is over, if you want to share your PPT or any notes to the students, it can be shared in the chat window. And then here you can see the option like yes, no, go slower, go faster, more, like that. So these are all the non-verbal communication which I've told you. So if any questions you want to ask to your students, so instead of unmuting themselves and talking, to save the time, you can use this non-verbal communication, either yes or no. If you click here yes, you can see here one participant has answered. If anything you ask, you can know it, how many participants have said yes, how many of them have said no. And next you can see the option here, go slower, go faster. It means that as teachers, every one of us teach in a different pace. So sometimes it will be easily understandable by students. Some students, they feel that we can go slower or faster if it is going to be a topic which was taken already. So in that case, the students can click this option. So it means that this number of students have said that the lecture can be a bit faster or it can be a slower one. And next you have the option here more. It is going to be a like, dislike, thumbs up, thumbs down, claps, raise hand, need a break. So these are all the non-verbal communications we have. And here also we have the invite link will be available. And next you have the mute all option here. So if you are going to select this mute all the, you can see here allow participants because already they are muted. If you want to mute everyone, you can select this mute all, or if you want to unmute them, again you have to select this option, they'll be unmuted. And next you can see this option, share screen. So what is share screen? So as a host, if you want to share your screen to the participant, you have to click it. So here you can see the option here, share screen, or if you want to use the whiteboard. So you want to draw something or you want to do some calculations, in that way you can do it. For example, you want to give some text to everyone by all like that, or you want to draw something, you can do it here. So this is the whiteboard which is be used for taking the classes. And next, again, I'm going to show with the other one. For example, I'm going to share a PPT now. So you have to click on, you have to open the file, you have to click on that, and then you have to select the share. So now it will be, so my PPT will be visible to the participant. And then you have to click on stop share once your presentation is over. So now here you have the basic, I told you to share the whiteboards or any presentations. And next here you have the advanced. If you want to share only a portion of screen, or if you want to share your computer sound only or any content from second camera, you can use it. That is comes under the advanced. And next we have the files. If you want to share screen, the files from the drive or cloud, you can use it. And one more important attribute of Zoom is that you can see a text here, share computer sound. If you want to play any video clips or sound recordings, you have to select that. For example, I want to play a YouTube video. Once your session is over, you want to show some real-time videos to your students, you have to open that YouTube video and then you have to select this share computer sound. So automatically your computer sound will be shared to the participant, and then you have to click on this share. So this is the options of share screen. And next you can see an option here, record. So already I've told you. So if you're going to enable that option in the settings, once you open the Zoom meeting itself, the recordings will start, or else you can click the option here, record. If you're going to click it, you can see a message here, recordings. So once the recording is done, it will be converted to a file and it will be stored in your computer. It will be stored in the C drive. So now I'm going to stop the recording. So here you can see an option called more. So now I'm going to tell you about the breakout rooms. So already I've told you, if you're going to give a group activities to students, you can create breakout rooms. So you can see here, assign one participant, because only one participant is there in a meeting. So you are getting a message like this. For example, in your class, 40 students are there. You want to create 4 rooms. So you have to click on 4 here. You want to assign automatically or you want to assign manually, you have to select, and then you have to click on create room. So here you can see a message. Since only one participant is there, breakout room 1, the participant is assigned to the breakout room 1. If we have a 40 participants, all the participant name will be listed here, and based on their group activity team, you can assign the students in the individual rooms. And then you can see open all rooms. So you can join the breakout room and you can see whether their activity has been done. After that, you can close all the rooms. Once you close all the room, you can see a message here. All participants will be given 60 seconds of time to leave the breakout rooms. After that, they have to leave the breakout room and join the meeting room. So here, since it is a free version, we don't have the live streaming option here. If it is a paid version, we have a live streaming. Here, if you're going to click on more, you will get a message on live on YouTube. If the participant is more than 100, you can go for a live streaming on YouTube. And also the Zoom offers another special feature called attention tracking. So attention tracking is that it will show you for how many seconds the participant has went out of the Zoom screen window. And also we have the attendance record in the paid version. So there a report will be generated showing the list of participants when they joined the meeting and when they left the meeting. So these are the options and the features and attributes of Zoom. And here you can see the option called as end. So if you're going to click on it, you can see the option here, end meeting. As a host, you have to end the meeting for all, or as a participant, if you want to leave the meeting, you can click on the option here, leave the meeting. So now I'm going to end the meeting for all. So now you can see a message here converting. So once your Zoom meeting is over, it will be converted to the local file and then which will be stored in your drive. So I hope all of you have understood about Zoom. So this is how we do with Zoom. So how we are going to schedule a meeting and how you have to start a meeting. So what are the settings we can change it in the Zoom. So all of you are clear about the Zoom for handling online classes and teaching. So our next session is going to be an interactive session. So I want every one of you to participate in that session. So if Zoom content is clear, you can type a message in the chat window. Yes. So next we are going to go to an interactive session. So whenever we talk about the online teaching, so what is a major challenge as teachers we face in the online teaching is this engagement level of the students. So that is a major challenge which we have to take it up here. So in order to tackle that challenge, I'm going to show you an interactive software session, which we can use it in our online classes to have a better attention and a better engagement of students so that the students can actively participate in the session. So that is going to be about the Mentimeter. So that is a software which I'm going to show you. So you have to open the browser, type www.mentimeter.com. So it is a software which we can use it to have our presentations more interactive so that students will have an active participation. So now you can see this is the website of Mentimeter. So here you can see get started. So here you have to click on get started. Once you click it, you will be asked to sign in with your mail ID. You have to sign in with your mail ID. So it is a very simple, just within a minute, you can sign in and create your Mentimeter account. So since already I have signed in, you can see a tab here, your presentation. So I'm directly going to my account page, your presentation. So here you can see my Mentimeter account page. So now you have to click on new presentation. You have to give a title for your presentation. I'm giving a title as quiz. Next, you have to click create presentation. So now my presentation is getting ready for its creation. So here you can see the question type. If you want to have a multiple choice question or it is a word cloud, open-ended, scales, or it is a ranking, or it is going to be an image choice, or it is going to be a question and answer. So based on that you can select. And the next you can see the option here, quiz competition. Either you want your students to select the answer or you want your students to type the answer. So it depends upon you. So now I'm going to select the multiple choice question. So I want every one of you to participate in this session. So now my question is going to be about which is the most popular tool for online teaching? So that is going to be my question right now. and 34. And then you have to select the option. We'll see which is going to be the most popular tool preferred by all of us. I want every one of you to join this session. Just go to www.menti.com. It is a very easy. It takes a few minutes. You have to type the code 74, 34 and 34. 74, 34, 34. So as of now, 5 participants have submitted their views. So I want all of you to participate so that we can use it in our online classes. Students will be betterly engaged in our sessions. So you can see as and when the participants give the response, you can see 7 participants have preferred Zoom. So it will keep on changing. We'll wait for 2 minutes for everyone to respond here so that we can have an interactive session. So 1 more minute. I'll be waiting for this question. And next we'll move on to the next criteria of question. So most of us are preferring Zoom. So I want every one of you to participate here. So you have to go to menti.com and then you have to enter the code here 74, 34, 34. So one more question we are going to have. You can use the same code for the another question. So 16 participants have responded. Okay, now I'm getting response from others. So I'll just wait a minute. Good. Good to see your responses. Good. Okay. Good. So 24 of, okay, we're getting response. So next I'm going to add one more question here. So here I'm going to add another question. Here you can see an option called as add slide. So I'm going to add here. So here now I'm going to choose the word cloud option. So here I'm going to select the word cloud. So my question is about the attributes of Zoom. So now we have discussed many features of Zoom like breakout rooms or lock meeting or mute participants. So whatever attribute that comes into your mind, you can enter that attributes of Zoom. So here you can see the option called entries per participant. So you can select how many entries a participant can. So I'm selecting 2 entry. So every participant can enter 2 options for your answers. For the attributes of Zoom, you can enter 2 options here. So now I'm going to present it. Only the same code you can use it for this also 74, 34 and 34. So whatever features we have seen, many features like breakout room, non-verbal communication, feedback, whatever. So whatever attributes that come to your mind when you think about Zoom, you can enter it. I'm going to present now. So I have presented. You can see, you can enter your response here. The same code, we are going to use the same code. Since it is a single presentation, I'm using the same code here. 74, 34, 34. Very good. I can see the responses, annotation, screen sharing, chat box. Good, good. Good. That is a word cloud. So in this way, we can have a better interaction among the students. Once you are taking any topic, so you can get a response from the students so that every one of them will be familiar with all the features. So here you can see. So once you see this, you'll be able to recollect what are the options we have discussed here. You can see screen sharing, chat box, lock meeting. Very so like this, if you're going to have an interactive session, the students will easily understand, and we can make the students sitting idle in online classes, keeping their mobiles. In this way, we can have a better interaction from the students. So you can see many attributes of Zooms: feedbacks, mute all, annotations, recordings, user friendly, very good. So in this way, this Mentimeter can be used as a very effective tool to make your students actively engage in your session. I hope every one of us will use it in our online classes. So as many tools similar to Mentimeters are available. We can also try Voxvote, Polls Everywhere. So many tools are there similar to Mentimeter. Okay, you can see many options coming. Good. Can see many responses coming here. Okay. Shall we stop here? Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So now this is a Mentimeter. So it is a software which we use it to have a better interactive session. So it is very easy for you to create quizzes like this. You have to select the question type you want, and then you have to share this code to the participants, and then you can have a very interactive presentation. So now our first session, we had it on Zoom. It was a lecture session. And the second one, we had an interactive session on Mentimeter. And the third one is going to be a game. So now we are going to play a game now. So as every one of us are interested in playing games, a similar way, we can also play games in our online classes related to our topic so that we can have a better attention of the students. So I'm going to tell you about a gaming software. It is a game-based learning platform. It is Kahoot. So I'm going to show you about Kahoot. So you can look up my screen. Kahoot, it is going to be a game-based learning platform, which is easy to create. You can play games and create quizzes in our online classes. So automatically students will have a better attention and they can retain the topics, whatever they have learned in the classes. So very simple, you have to type kahoot.com and then just a minute. So you have to type kahoot.com, and here you can see the option login. You have to log in. So you have to log in with your mail ID. So I have entered my mail ID. I'm going to log in here. Okay. So here you can see my account page of Kahoot. So Kahoot, we have also the paid versions of Kahoot, but now I'm showing you only the free version. So here you can see an option called create. You have to click create here. Click on the option create. And here you can see a pop-up window, new Kahoot, create. I'm going to click here, create. And now you can see a text. Here you can see a slide here. Click to start typing your question. You can type your question here, and here you can drop the image from the computer, or you can also have any YouTube link. If you want to ask questions from the link after the students viewing the videos, if you want to ask, you can do this. And here you have the time limit. You can set the time limit for this game. For example, now we are going to play this game. I'm going to set it as a 90 second for this game. Okay. or else I'm going to make it as a 120 second to make it easy for every one of you to log in. So I'm made it as a 120 seconds, and here the points will be allowed. So you can decide whether how much points you're going to give it. So just I'm giving here others 1000, or you can just select 500 or 100, whatever you want, you can change here. And then here you can see the option. Either it is going to be a single select option or it is going to be a multi select. So now you can type the question here, or you can see a one more option here. Kahoot provides us with the amazing offer here. We can see the question bank. We have a number of questions which is already been uploaded in Kahoot. Now, instead of typing a question, I'm going to select a question from the question bank. So you have to click on here, question bank. So you can see you have typed the question. Now I'm going to type a question. I'm going to ask a CEO of a company. Who is the CEO of SpaceX? That will be my question right now. Okay. So, okay. You can see here the question is already in the question bank. So I'm going to select it. Who is the CEO of SpaceX? You have the option here along with the image of the person. So now I'm going to click add here. I'm going to add this question to our quiz, and then you have to click the option close. Here you can see the question is displayed. Since already I had select one more slide, I'm going to delete it because only one quiz I'm going to have right now. Okay. So here you can see who is the CEO of SpaceX. Here the image of the person, and you can see the options over here. John Cena, Tom Musk, Obama, Elon Musk. You can see the options here. And then now you are going to play this game. For the question, you have to look up my screen because only the option colors will be available in your screen. For the question, you have to look out here, and then you have to select the option and the suitable color, you have to select it. I'll guide you now. So now you have to click on done. It will ask for a title quiz. So just I'm going to click quiz here. You can description, it is optional. If you want, you can describe about your quiz on what is about the quiz, you can do it. Now I'm clicking continue. So the Kahoot is ready to be played. You can see a message here. You have to click done. So we are ready to play Kahoot here. So once your game is ready, it will be displayed here. You can see an option play. You have to click this play. And then here we have two types of playing this game. Either it is for the virtual classroom or it is going to be for the self-paced learning. Whether you're going to give this game as a learning session for the students in the form of an assignment, you're going to give it, or it is for a virtual classroom. For an online interactive session, you're going to give this game. So here you can see the image in your mobile or in your laptop. Only the options colors will be here. You have to look up my screen and you have to select the option based on the color. So now I'm going to select this. So now we are having an online. So I'm going to select this for virtual classroom. And next, you can see an option here, play games with up to 50 players. Since I'm using a free version, you can play up to 50 players. Here, we can have a classic, player versus player. So it is going to be a classic, or if you're going to have a team game, team versus team, you can also select the team mode. Now here, I'm going to select it as a classic. So now every one of you, you can go to the kahoot.com, www.kahoot.it, and you have to enter the game pin. You'll be notified once the players have entered the game pin, and then you have to start the game. So I want every one of you to join this game. I'm waiting for a few more players to join, and then I will start the game. Once the time is started, you'll be having 2 minutes. So every one of you go to www.kahoot.it. Enter your pin. I'll wait for some time for the players to arrive here. Okay. Okay, good to see players are coming. So I want every one of you to participate. Go to kahoot.it and type the pin 617468. After I reach the number of players, and then I will start the game over here. Look, please look at this question in my screen. So I'm going to start the game now. Okay, I'm starting the game now. Start. So now game is going to be ready now. So look at my screen. Option colors only will be available to you. Look at my screen for the question and the answers. Only the option colors will be visible in your screen. So you can see here, the game has been entered. So 11 of you has responded the right option. So you can click on end game here. So this is a way you can create a game-based learning platform to your students. So it is a way by which you can create a game-based learning platform to your students. So our next session is going to be about the rating of Zoom versus Google Meet. So here you can see my PPT, Zoom versus Google Meet. So here you can see the Zoom. In Zoom, we can have a better view of the participants in the meeting, but in the Google Meet, we have only limited view of the participant. And Zoom offers a special attribute of mute all the participants. Already we have seen here. If you click mute all participants will be muted. But in Google Meet, we can have the option only one-to-one muting is available. And in Zoom, we can share the files in chat. As I've showed you in the chat window, I shared a file in my meeting, but in Google Meet, we cannot do it. And here Zoom offers, apart from the basic chat, it also offers a non-verbal communication. I have showed you the voting, yes or no, the reactions, individual messages, raising hand options, all are available in Zoom. But in Google Meet, only we have the basic chat option. And while sharing the screen, I showed you the can share computer audio. In Zoom, you can share the computer audio while playing any video and audio files, but in Google Meet, it is not there. Here we have the whiteboard annotations is there in Zoom, and also we have the breakout rooms in Zoom. For group activity, you can use it, the breakout rooms. These options are not available in Google Meet. And here in Zoom, you can record the meetings. As we have seen, we have the cloud recordings and also local recordings. But in Google Meet, only the G Suite users can record the meeting. So I end the session. So we had 3 types of sessions: the lecture session on Zoom, interactive session by Mentimeter, and a gaming session in the Kahoot. So I end the session by now. Any Deepa ma'am, we can move on to the question session from the participants. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Ma'am, good noon, ma'am.
Yeah. Good afternoon, ma'am. Tell.
Ma'am, you said that in Kahoot we can play up to 50 players, no, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
If a class consists of more than 50 students, whether it is possible to use Kahoot, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. If you go for a paid version, we can use it. Since it is a free version, you can play up to 50 players.
Okay, ma'am.
If you are going up, tell me, ma'am.
What is the maximum limit in case of paid version, ma'am?
There are different paid versions available, ma'am.
Okay.
So based on the capacity of the students and based on the institution, you can purchase that feature, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Only one type of game can be conducted in Kahoot, ma'am.
No, ma'am. Like quizzes, we can conduct. There are many
Okay.
types of games we can conduct, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can use polls everywhere. Walksword. In Walksword, you can only 3 quizzes, but in Mentimeter, in the free version, you can create as many presentations as you want. Every presentation you can have a maximum of to 5 quizzes. You can also try for polls everywhere. The voting tools for having a better interactive sessions. Yes, ma'am, you can use it, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, language games. Yes, ma'am, apps will be available. Similar way, we have to explore and try it out for language also. No. Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Hello, ma'am. I'd like to thank all the members of teaching fraternity for spending their time for today's session. My special thanks to Secretary, Principal and Vice Principal and Dr. Deepa ma'am, IQAC Coordinator of Islamia Women's Arts and Science College, Vaniambadi, for giving me this opportunity to meet you all in this faculty development program. Once again, I thank you everyone. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all the participants. Associate.